remember the first time you heard you had early records, but the first time you heard Sly and the Family Stone on the radio?
Yes.
I do.
Greg does.
Yeah, I remember. I think we was in a car. Actually, the first time I heard it by myself in the city. I think we all did, like when we were at home. But the first time we did together, we were going to a gig. I remember we were all in the band or something. It just sounded so good. The dancing music coming across the radio, came on. We all looked, yeah,
That was in the 8-track days.
Yeah.
Greg and I bought twin Firebird 400 cars in '67. He kept his, but I got 16 tickets. I didn't get to keep mine. But I remember I used to drive sideways and listen to dance to the music on the 8-track, man. I said, dance to the.
That song changed the world. I mean, but it's such an optimistic time. You guys were like San Francisco and interracial band, all this message.
Love and peace and love and happiness.
What are we listening to today? Now you get sampled a lot, but I mean, what was it? Something that happened in the time, or why?
It's getting sampled because no one's ever been better than Sly, and no one can replace him. And right now, all we're doing is trying to play the songs as much like the original as possible and keep the flame going until we can figure out what to do with all those other 1,000 songs he wrote. And shit, I'm already over 70. You better hurry up.
We're sitting here with Jerry, Greg, and Cynthia.
Last but not least.
Founding members of Sly and the Family Stone. That's right. That's what he was going to say.
And all right, I gotta ask. So they say Cynthia and Jerry have a message. They say,
all the squares go home.
All right, my life is complete. What are some famous other Cynthia ad libs?
You think you know it all, but you've got a lot to learn.
You guys were great tonight, by the way. You still have it. I mean, I know you got kids.
Well, actually, it wasn't our crowd tonight.
Okay.
It's his crowd.
Okay, see.
Casey's crowd.
Opening for kids.
No, I'm saying that because I love them. They sounded great. They have a really tight show.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you what, that's the most white people I've seen in a long time.
Okay, well, tell us
and
about
I'm white. I was one of them, but I had to count myself. You know what I mean?
Well, tell us about it. You perform all over the country all the time.
All
I mean,
over the
what can people all over the world? What can people expect from a Family Stone show?
They can expect to have a swinging good time, and it's just happy songs. They lift you up, and they lift us up as we're playing. They lift the audience up as they're listening, and it's just a great time for the both of us.
The more the audience gets into it, the more we get into it. We're gonna get into it anyway, but if you got the audience going with you,
oh, man.
then you got to give it up. Got to give it up. You know what I'm saying?
So now you guys, your parents, grandparents, right?
Great grandparents.
Great grandparent.
Get out of here. How does it feel getting up on stage night after night?
It feels good to me. It's just normal. Yeah, that's where I like to be. One of the places I love to be.
Because what year are you celebrating? Have you in show business?
48 years. The band started in December 1966.
Yeah. How did you guys first start? Or how did you guys meet Sly? I hear he's like a big radio person.
Well, then you got 3 different stories.
Okay.
Cynthia goes back to high school times. Greg goes back to when he was playing with Sly's brother Freddie, and I go back to his first record, Yellow Moon.
Okay.
And I was in the backup band that when he played his first Warner Brothers record. One side he sang lead. It was called Yellow Moon, and the second side was called Uncle Sam Needs You, Boy.
I've heard that song. So
I played on that.
that's fantastic. So I mean, I'm going to talk over here. So how have things changed over the years, or have they?
We got older, but it's the same thing. We were just all together last Monday, and when I saw Sly, and I hugged him, and I said, "I love you, man." He goes, "I love you too, man." And it's still the same. He's still my younger brother.
Okay. So I mean, so I'll get Greg. So what are the odds? So like, how are the rest of the family stoned? And is there a chance that you all will be on the same stage again real soon?
You know, everybody was fine, by the way, smiling and in good cheers. It was great to be with everybody. Freddie, I hadn't seen him in about 2 years, and Rose, you know, she's not singing with Elton John, and with her daughter Lisa, and it was good seeing them all. And I felt like we should have hung out after the camera crew left and played.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they should have told me before I left home because I didn't bring my horn.
I was thinking that.
man.
You know what? When I was there,
I looked at mine 3 or 4 times, passed by it, and I'd look before I walked out the door, and I was like, nah,
I know.
it's just going to be an interview, you know.
I was walking out the door, and my horn said, Jerry, come here. And I thought about bringing it. I said, but nah, just the interview. But when we got there, and we was jamming vocally in the studio part of this, when Sly and Freddie were going, they were doing some choice stuff. And then I looked next to me, and here's Vet and Rose are doing the heart of it, and they go, listen, boom, 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 and they're talking over the harmony parts, and it was just like it was 40 years ago.
Can we get a little of that then?
Well, is what they did. They had said they put a couple of the tracks up.
Okay.
We were in the control room, and they had put, so Thank You was on, and they had, you know, we had all the faders there, so it was all individual tracks. So we just had the rhythm section up, and Freddie starts breaking out in this, it do what it do, something like that, like, it do what it do. And then Rose kicks in with something, and then, you know, yeah, it was great. We had a ball. They filmed it all, so it'll be somewhere at some point in time.
Yeah, who's putting that one out?
It's
Sony.
Sony Legacy, yeah.
Legacy, Sony.
This was they filmed this for us gathering together for a promo for the release of the new
box set.
box set.
Yeah.
Which was
So that leads me to the last question. I'm going to ask you to give us a story, if possible. So what's next? We can see touring all over the world as the Family
Yes.
Stone. Do you have new music? What's next for Sly and the Family Stone?
Well, I tell you what, we've only recorded about 1/10 of the songs that Sly wrote. If he gets it in his mind and he wants to do some of the other ones, you can believe that we'll be right there for him. Or if he wants our Family Stone to record and produce it, he has a lot of options. You know, nobody can take Sly's place. The only thing that we can do, Alex did a fine job of singing the songs to the best of his ability. But there's only one Sly, there's only one Rose, only one Cynthia. And you can get, we had other trumpet players when she got sick come in, and I feel sick. I didn't even want to play with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I will ask you this. I mean, the music, it's of a time, but it's also very timeless. I mean, what is the secret to this music? Why does it so...
Sly's writings, he's a visionary person. There's only been a few of them in history, and he's one of them. And you can tell that by, you get all the jazz greats that everybody loves, and they're immortal, like Miles Davis and Herbie Hancock. They worship Sly. They hung out with him. They knew he was a visionary, you know, and he still is. You know, everybody's waiting for him to fall down. He ain't gonna fall. He walked into the studio, and I heard he was driving his car the other day. Everybody said, you can't even drive, you can't walk, he's in a wheelchair. Forget about it. He was driving right behind the van, you know, his van. He was driving the car.
Wow.
So, I tell you what, he surprises me too. Because just when I think, Sly, man, you're gonna fall down pretty soon, he just look up and say, no, I ain't. No, I ain't, you know? And I believe him. He's been one of my best friends since the 50s.
Wow.
Okay? Before you were born, young man. You know?
It's an honor and a privilege to be with you guys.
Hey, we like you too.
Okay, 2, 3.
We are the Family Stone, and you are watching Reelblack.